The 2020 CNI Ground Mount Solar Project of the Year, as voted by the readers of Solar Builder, is the Possum Solar Array for Pedigree Ovens. I mean, just look at this design. Here to tell us how they got it done is Eric Goodwin, Director of Business Development for OMCO Solar, and Lewis Butler, Director of Sales at Simple Ray. Well, thanks for joining me, Eric and Lewis, and congratulations on winning Solar Builder's CNI Ground Mount Project of the Year award.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, it's a great recognition of a lot of interesting and fun work, and no, it's really great to see that.
Yeah, and of all 5 categories that we had our readers vote on, this was the clearest runaway landslide winner in terms of like tally, vote tally. And I think it's kind of easy to see why. Just the visual impact of it just kind of catches people and like, wow, that was a really cool accomplishment. And I just wanted to start with you, Lewis, maybe at the beginning of when this whole thing started. When did the idea of the artistic dog bone and dog and paw design come up?
Yeah, the original design was talked about in that first meeting with Kurt there at Pedigree. And, when we went to the ground, it felt like we had a large canvas to work with, and it just all kind of came together right there in that first meeting. And it really was surprising to see that initial concept all the way to the end, because a lot of these designs end up on the floor at the end of the day.
And how complex was the actual design of the array? And I guess how much time did that take? Anything you can say about that?
Yeah, definitely became a labor of love on the engineering side of things, making sure that everything was going to look nice. And I'm not saying the engineering team, I'm not going to say they aren't artistic, but there's a little bit of artistic ability in moving the pixels around to make sure that, the size and scale and scope of that looks good once you kind of get above it as well. So definitely a lot of time invested there. And, Eric and his team definitely helped make sure that that aesthetic looked good, both on the ground and in the air.
The aerial shot is an important one, not just for seeing it the way we did in photos, but this is in the actual flight path. If you're going into circling around to go to O'Hare. So people are going to be seeing this as a standout project. And so it had to be right. So Eric, how involved was OMCO in the design phase? And if you could get into any of the, maybe adjustments and decisions you made to make sure that, this thing looked the way it needed to.
We got involved, I think, probably early mid-stage. I know there's probably a few iterations that I think Lewis had went through with the owner on. But when we started talking to Justin Charles on the engineering side and starting to look at the array and kind of the way the rows were going to be staggered and kind of how that needed to look, our team got really excited about that, because one thing, even as we bring our own products to market here the last 3 or 4 years, before then, and a lot of our capabilities is custom row forming, right? And so we can take designs and tweak them and make things different because we're making all of our own products. And so we had a chance to kind of go through a few iterations and back and forth, and Justin and the Simple Ray team were really very specific and very clear on the different iterations. I mean, there was a lot of progress towards what the end vision was going to be. So I think it was probably more mid-stage, but as we look to take this design and then put it into manufacturer, to be able to have it manufacturable, it definitely was a little bit of labor of love. There were a couple back and forths, but we were excited to look at a corporate headquarters and what the vision was. We had an opportunity about 1.5 years ago to do the headquarters for Cliff Bar, for the energy bar, and it was nothing to the level of what this is as far as the creative design, but it was just kind of a cool experience, and we were excited about the opportunity to do it again.
So there was a whole financial piece of this that we get into in the article that I don't necessarily want to get into here. I want to make sure people go ahead and read that article. But there were some challenges, obviously, this year that everyone experienced. What troubles did you guys run into, when it came to that end of things?
Yeah, so the project initially rolls out under the incentive program in Illinois, and it was so popular, and there's a lottery, and there's a new funding mechanism, and there's just a lot of, as much engineering as we did on the project, there's that much to figure out on the financial piece as well. So, that incentive program launches, and then we eventually get everything ordered, and then the factory shuts down because of COVID earlier than what it happens here in the US. So then we have to go through the entire team of people, right? From Althoff, who's building it, to Omco Solar, who's providing the racking, to the owner and saying, hey, your shipment isn't coming in on time. Well, why is that? And COVID's like this new thing that's happening. And so that delay happens before it actually hits the US. And then once we do get everything produced, it's sitting there on the boat. And I'm sure customs is really busy and things are slowing down and moving in weird ways. So that last container of modules just sat somewhere at customs for a month. And we're dying to get these black modules on it so we can see this finished product and get the thing turned on. So, we overcame them, and it's just a fact of life that happened. And everyone was very good at working through all of the issues. It's just something that a year ago, you never would have thought through. How is this project going to be impacted on this timeline? We can think through every other contingency except for the global pandemic that no one really saw coming.
And then on your end of things, Eric, did anything stand out about the the actual on-site construction, last second, parts of this that, to make sure that it was all working and running smoothly?
So we knew that since this isn't your normal array, and we placed a kind of a very very high level of kind of oversight on the site, because Althoff was just building our product for the first time. So John Reed from our engineering team, came out to the site and had a kind of a high level of support through the pile driving and then also through the racking install. And we ran into some refusals with piles, which happened. So we had some struggles, some things we needed to work through with remediation of some of the piles. And then just alignment of the racking when you look at the staggered rows. And so Althoff really did a great job to come up to speed. We also got a chance to show kind of the benefits of the install on our product. But we did have a good level. If we didn't have that level of support in the field, it probably would have been a little bit more challenging than it was. But everybody kind of came together and got through it pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, it honestly looks great, especially on the cover of Solar Builder, this fall issue. It's a standout statement project that I'm happy to call one of our projects of the year. Just wanted, before I let you guys go, final victory lap statement, anything, on this project or, going forward?
This really was a giant team effort, right? Really proud of our team at Simple Ray, from finance team to engineering, Althoff installing it, and then the support we got from Omco Solar was, just amazing. So, you kind of always hear people talk about this teamwork mentality, but from the owner of the array, Kurt, to everything, it's really something that I feel proud to be a part of, and I'm glad that everyone came together so well on this project, and it's a huge success because of that. And I think that's why we're all really beaming and excited to be talking about it today.
I think it's a great example of what we can do and what we need to do even more of in this industry, to take cost out, to do projects that are meaningful, to see the end result, impact on the community. It just really gives you a good feeling. And so, we're really honored to be a part of the project, and first of many types of projects that continue to grow solar across the U.S.